have no time to love them, once said by Mother Teresa. Welcome to BMC News Live, presented by Al Hilal Hospitals and Medical Centers English News. Myself, Shana Sultana, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines.
Importance of following COVID-19 precautionary measures highlighted. His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa received Vital Group Chief Executive. Legislation and Legal Opinion Commission participated in Legislation Directorate's official meeting. Kuwait to issue online vehicle ownership book. Afghanistan quake killed 1,000 people, deadliest in decades.
Today's news in detail. Importance of following COVID-19 precautionary measures highlighted. The Undersecretary of the Ministry of Health and members of the National Medical Task Force for combating the coronavirus, Dr. Walid Al-Mania, yesterday highlighted the importance of continuing to diligently follow the COVID-19 precautionary measures aimed at safeguarding public health. Dr. Al-Mania emphasized that mask wearing is required in different health centers and facilities and is optional in private and public areas. Dr. Al-Mania added that COVID-19 would be transmissible by individuals that do not show symptoms of the virus, and thus wearing a mask when in contact with the vulnerable, including the elderly and those with chronic diseases, is important. Dr. Al-Mania outlined that collective efforts to combat the COVID-19 continue to be maintained. However, social responsibility plays an even bigger role in supporting mitigation efforts. Dr. Al-Mania concluded by reiterating the importance of taking the COVID-19 vaccination and necessary booster shots, as well as the importance of conducting a COVID-19 test when experiencing any related symptoms, as early detection can save lives. His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa received Vital Group Chief Executive. Representative of His Majesty the King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa for Humanitarian Work and Youth Affairs, both Chairman of the Oil and Gas Holding Company Noga Holding, His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa affirmed the great care and support accorded to the energy sector by His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. He noted keenness of Noga Holding on boosting investment in those key sectors in concordance with Bahrain Economic Vision 2030. This came during a meeting with Chief Executive of Vital Group, Rizal Hardy, which was held in the presence of Minister of Oil and Environment, Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak bin Daina, and Chief Executive of Bahraini Petroleum Company, Babco, Dr. Abdul Rahman Jawahiri. His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Hamad Al Khalifa asserted the importance of exchanging experiences, promoting cooperation and boosting investment in the oil and gas sector. He pointed out the ongoing development of this vital sector in the Kingdom of Bahrain. He also discussed with Rizal Hardy ways of boosting cooperation in this field. His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad praised Bahrain's election as Vice President of Basel Convention Bureau. The Kingdom of Bahrain has been elected Vice President of the Bureau of the Basel Convention of the Control of Transboundary Movements of Hazardous Wastes and Their Disposal Basel Convention for the first time, representing the Asia and Pacific Group. The Kingdom was elected to the top post during the 2021-2022 meetings of the conferences of the parties to the Basel, Rotterdam and Stockholm Conventions BRSCOPs held recently in Geneva. On the occasion, His Majesty the King's personal representative and President of the Supreme Council for Environment SCE, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa, indicated that the exploit is the fruitful outcome of the Kingdom's constant interest in preserving the environment and climate, thanks to the strategic forward-looking visions of His Majesty King Hamad and the unwavering support of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister. Al Hilal Hospitals and Medical Centers, Bahrain's COVID updates.
COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers.
Israel reviewed ways to expand scientific research cooperation. Secretary General of the Higher Education Council and Vice Chairman of the Board of Trustees of Higher Education, Dr. Sheikh Rana bint Isa bin Daij Al Khalifa, received Israel's ambassador to Bahrain 8th May. Dr. Sheikh Rana hailed the steady growth and progress of relations between Bahrain and Israel across several areas. The meeting reviewed areas of shared interest in higher education and scientific research, as well as opportunities for exchanging expertise and strengthening cooperation. The Israeli ambassador stressed his country's keenness on reinforcing relations with Bahrain at all levels. Housing Minister met Urban Planning and Development Authority CEO. Minister of Housing and Urban Planning Amina bint Ahmed Al Ramehi underlined the importance of multiplying the efforts during the upcoming phase to implement projects in the urban planning field. She stressed keenness on promoting comprehensive and sustainable development and achieving the visions and aspirations of His Majesty King Hamad. She also pointed out the interest in carrying out the directives of the government led by His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, the Crown Prince and Prime Minister, regarding the development of vital sectors in the Kingdom of Bahrain. This came during a meeting with Chief Executive of the Urban Planning and Development Authority, which was held in the presence of a number of officials from the ministry and the authority. Legislation and Legal Opinion Commission participated in Legislation Directorate's officials meeting. Head of the Legislation and Legal Opinion Commission, Chancellor Nawaf Abdullah Hamza, participated in the 21st meeting of the Permanent Committee of the Legislation Directorate's officials in the GCC countries, which convened in Riyadh, SRA, in the presence of the GCC Secretariat General. The meeting spotlighted a number of issues pertaining to legislation and laws on the agenda of the GCC Legislation Directorates. The Legislation and Legal Opinion Commission took part in the meeting with a delegation headed by Chancellor Nawaf Abdullah Hamza and comprising in its membership Assistant Chancellor Yusuf Al-Sabag. Parliament Speaker Fawzia Zainal affirmed parliamentary support for enhancing relations with Kyrgyzstan. Speaker of the Council of Representatives Fawzia bint Abdullah Zainal has affirmed the legislative branch's support for efforts to strengthen the distinguished friendly relations between Bahrain and Kyrgyzstan at all levels, in line with the directives of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa and Kyrgyzstan President Sadir Japarov. Speaker Zainal made the statements while meeting yesterday the Foreign Affairs Minister of Kyrgyzstan, Zinba Kulubayev, who is currently on a visit to the Kingdom of Bahrain. Now we shall go for a short commercial break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Welcome back. Gulf Radio and Television Festival shed light on youth experiences. The 2022 Gulf Radio and Television Festival held a youth experience seminar as part of the radio and TV production market exhibition. The seminar highlighted the stories and accomplishments of media personalities and influencers from the GCC countries. The seminar was conducted by Saudi content creator and TV presenter Mahmoud Al Nahid and featured speakers from different TV personalities, content creators and media figures who shared their inspirational stories in the field. The speakers came from different backgrounds and education to motivate and inspire the audience. 5 Bahraini listed companies on Forbes Middle East Top 100 ranking. 5 Bahraini listed companies have made to Forbes Middle East annual ranking of the top 100 listed companies for 2022. The list released yesterday shows that the region's largest, most valuable and most profitable companies include Ahli United Bank AUB, Alba, Arab Banking Corporation Bank ABC, National Bank of Bahrain NBB and Bettelco in order of ranking. Manama Souk Tours showcases Bahrain's culture and food. Cultural and food tours in the Manama Souk are highlighting the market as one of the most important tourist destinations in Bahrain, according to tourism officials. The tours, which were launched on May 26, are aiming to encouraging citizens, residents and tourists to visit the souk. Underwater city around Hawar Islands proposed. Ambitious plans to create an underwater city in the sea surrounding Hawar Islands have been agreed by councillors. The visionary idea proposed by Hawar Islands councillor Hisham Al-Daziri was anonymously approved by the Southern Municipal Council in its final meeting of its 4-year term yesterday. Expat health insurance soon. Supreme Council for Health Chairman Lieutenant General Dr. Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Khalifa has said that the first phase of the health insurance program will be implemented early next year. Expatriates living in Bahrain. Consultations are underway which concerned authorities to determine the mandatory health package for foreign residents, he said. 5 planets to line up in rare celestial event this weekend, UAE announced. A rare parade of planets will be visible in the pre-dawn sky this weekend for UAE sky watchers and sky gazers worldwide. It said just before sunrise Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn will be visible with the naked eyes in an arc on 24th June 2022. Hassan Al-Hariri, CEO Dubai Astronomy Group, opined, "It is one of the rare astronomical phenomena to see the lineup of its fullest extent. Enthusiasts need to raise it as dawn begins to brighten the sky. Keep in mind that it will be decades before you will have never another opportunity to see the planets and the moon arranged in such a manner. So don't miss this chance." The term planetary assignment refers to the planets aligning at the same time. The planets orbit the sun along with the different paths at the different speeds. The planets do not revolve in the same plane properly in reality. Instead, they sway in a 3-dimensional space on various orbits. They will never be exactly aligned because of this. As a result, planetary alignment does not imply a literal lineup, but rather than some of the planets are in the same broad sky region. In astronomy, a conjunction occurs when 2 celestial objects or spacecraft have the same right ascension or elliptic longitude as measured from Earth. Kuwait to issue online vehicle ownership book. General Traffic Department will soon issue, in cooperation with the coordination with the General Department of Information Systems, the car ownership document online after it was linked with the Ministry of Commerce and Industry and Insurance compliances. This will allow the vehicle owners to enter the main menu and choose the insurance company and the type of document to issue the document, explaining that if the vehicle does not need a technical examination, the ownership book will be issued immediately, but if it is needed, the owner will be notified through the system to review the inspection department. GTD is currently working to register the ownership book on smartphone devices through the My Identity application as well as with the driving licenses currently available on this application. US boosted monkeypox testing, 142 cases confirmed. The Biden administration has started shipping monkeypox tests to commercial laboratories in a bid to speed diagnosis of suspected infections for the virus that has already infected at least 142 people in the US. Previously, testing has largely been confined to public health labs, which combined have a capacity of about 8,000 tests per week. The disease first causes flu-like symptoms before progressing to a rash on the face and the body, and is commonly found in parts of Central and West Africa. But this year, 1,880 infections have been reported in more than 30 countries where monkeypox isn't typically found. Most of those cases have been found in Europe. As of June 21, the CDC has confirmed 142 monkeypox cases infections in the US. Monkeypox comes from the same family of viruses as smallpox. Most people recover from monkeypox within weeks, but the disease is fatal for up to 1 in 10 people, according to the World Health Organization. Afghanistan quake killed 1,000 people, deadliest in decades. A powerful earthquake struck a rugged, mountainous region of eastern Afghanistan early Wednesday, flattening stone and mud brick homes and killing at least 1,000 people. The disaster posed a new test for Afghanistan's Taliban rulers and relief agencies already struggling with the country's multiple humanitarian crises. The quake was Afghanistan's deadliest in 2 decades, and officials said the tolls could rise. An estimated 1,500 others were reported injured. The disaster, infected by the 6.1 magnitude quake, heaps more than misery on a country where millions face increasing hunger and poverty, and the health system has been crumbling since the Taliban retook power nearly 10 months ago amid the US and NATO withdrawal. With this, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Lab English at 7:30 p.m. Thank you so much for watching. Signing off by Shana Sultana. Good night.